Hello, my little piggies. Welcome back to I Am a Bit of an Expert, a Peppa Pig podcast. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and joining me on this non-snowy day is the other host, Matt Frost. Hey, mate.
Hello, Josh. How are you going?
Good. You're over your sickness from last week?
We are, yeah, and we're all better. Spoiler, we're not. It's the same night, but yeah, and it's just as hot. So
just as hot, I know. So we're talking snow, and it was a hot day in Melbourne today. It was about almost 30 degrees, so it's quite hot. It's not too bad in the studio here. It's not
34 here, so
yeah. There you go. Adelaide, they get the brunt of it. So you'll have to work out what that is in Fahrenheit if you're not on the metrics. I don't, but it's warm enough. We kind of thought summer would be done, but it's not quite done yet. But yeah, but we're talking snow here. Now, just a little bit of background to this. I know this episode like the back of my hand because we have the book on this one. And I think it's Peppa's... There it is, Peppa's Snowy Fun. Matt is actually holding it up. We have that exact book. And I've read that book so many times that Olive can actually pick the book up and she can recite the book at 3 without actually having to be able to read a word, but she goes through and she knows the whole book back to front. Matt is giving me a amen over here. He looks like he's lived the same life. Lived the same life.
Oh, absolutely, mate. When peek behind the curtain, we watch the episodes. I watch the episodes with my kids before we do the podcast, and they were both just squealing with delight about every little thing because they knew what was going to happen. So because of the book, we've read the book so many times. Yeah.
I don't know. Ours has fallen off the rotation now, but it could just be that it's been put away purposely somewhere where it's become hard to find.
Yeah, it's funny with Beanie. Our kids are 6 and 3, so Peppa's still pretty big with Beanie. But we've had a strange thing. We look after some kids from time to time, so sometimes we've got a pretty full house here. And the couple of the young lads we look after have really got into the Peppa books. So I've been reading
revisiting revisiting the hits.
Yeah, and Peppa's Snowy Fun got her, because sometimes you sort of, when you're saying to a whole host of kids, everyone gets 2 books, and some kids choose the same book, and you just got to read it again. So
you just got to suck it up.
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure for more people behind the curtain is when we record these, I usually have the episode opened on my laptop so I can kind of flick through and keep track of things. My memory is not as good as Matt. He can just usually reel off the top of his head, but I wouldn't even need to look at the episode for this one because it's basically beat by beat. So tell us what happens it's just snow on the episode, but it's always Peppa's Snowy Fun to me.
Yeah, well, it's a very generic episode, but it's a very good episode. I actually really enjoyed watching this one because, you know what, I've probably only seen this episode once. Damn, if I read that book a few times. So seeing it play out in animated motion was pretty good.
It's like film. It's when they make. It's like when they made Lord of the Rings or something. They finally got around to. They said it was unfilmable, but there you go. It's a live action thing of the book right there happening in front of you.
I was thinking of another thing, and you're of the similar vintage to me, so you'd get it. Do you remember movie storybooks? Whether they
like the books on tape or on record. Turn page. When you hear R2D2 beep, turn the page.
Yep, or just the A4 glossy picture books for whether it be Star Wars or E.T. or... you get them at the Scholastic Book Club and stuff like that. And we didn't have it. We grew up without a VCR, so didn't watch a lot of movies. But I had and borrowed from the library all these movie books that were based on movies. And
so let's watch Empire Strikes Back, guys, and you just pull the book out.
Yeah. Oh God, that makes it sound pretty pathetic, but yeah. So some things I knew better as a book than I ever did as a movie, and then you'd see the movie and say, "Oh my god, it's moving!" But
And here we are, like years later. Pepper's Snowy Fun come to life.
yeah, I feel my whole life's been building up to this point, Josh.
So there's snow.
There is.
Pepper is in England. We know that. We're not quite sure where in England or Great Britain anyway. And it does snow. The first night I spent in London, when I moved to London, it snowed that night. And I was staying with a friend of mine, and I was, I'd sort of slept in because I'd done the flight, and she woke me up and said, "Oh, look, you might want to have a look out the window here. It's been snowing outside." And first night in London, I stepped out of the wardrobe, and it was in a snowy wonderland on a London street, and it was quite amazing. Really, I'd been to the snow once or twice before, but I'd never seen snow, in a city before. So it was quite amazing until a few hours later when it became kind of black sludge.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever had the experience of walking down a high road and the snow is sort of melting around the rainbow puddles from the previous night before. But yeah, it's interesting. But
especially coming from Australia, where you don't get a lot of snow.
No, it didn't snow a lot when I was over there, but I do remember those times pretty good.
Yeah, there wasn't
The
stacks
train
of it, but
stopped.
I had we did have one amazing dump of snow one time when my flatmate and my good friend Holly's brother was staying with us over from Sydney, and we were staying in a pub. We went up to the pub that was near the park where we lived in East London, and it was just dumping with snow, and the whole Park London Fields was covered in snow. And we went into the pub and we were having a beer, and there were a bunch of estate kids across from the pub who were hurling snowballs at anybody who basically went near the pub or was standing out the front of the pub. And any time that the door opened, they would throw snowballs through the door. So we would be sitting inside the pub, and these snowballs would be flying through the thing, and there was nothing that security could do because they was from across the road. And then we basically went out and started piffing snowballs at these kids, and it was great fun. That was probably my favourite snow memory. I think my London snow memory.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, you just see them drinking your beer, and the door would open. This snowball, you could hear them banging on the front of the pub. They're trying to, and every now and then they get one in the door as it opened. This snowball will come flying through the pub into the pub, hitting the floor, hitting the wall. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's very good. As I said, I never had a big dump of snow when I was living in England, but I spent a month of winter in Canada.
Oh yeah, you get some snow there.
I saw my cousins, my young cousins in Canada, like shoveling snow off a frozen river to play ice hockey on.
Ugh.
And it's just like. And they insisted I had to go down and play with them. And it was like I'm a fairly poor skater and can't play hockey. And I was just like a moving obstacle, just gently gliding around while they played. It was bumpy ice, and then there was this almighty crack. And I was just like, we're going to die. And they're like, oh, no. Like, we know the sort of crack that you have to worry about. Like, they don't sound like that. So what sort of...
Oh. Not very reassuring. Not very reassuring at all. Well, no cracks here in Pepper. So basically it starts snowing. Pepper and George ask if they can go out and play in the snow. Yes, you can, but you've got to have your snowy gear on. So they get out there. They're sort of frolicking in the snow. There's a bit of a snow fight that happens. And Pepper basically kind of escalates it.
Oh, they both escalate it. Come on.
They do. But George cops one straight in the mush.
Yeah, straight in the gob.
And then he doesn't like that too much. And then, Pepper basically gets a great big ball and kind of rolls it at him, which he doesn't like. But then that's sort of the impetus to build a snowman. So... anytime, obviously, you talk about if you're wanting to build a snowman, I know where your brain would go and I know where my brain goes because we've just started Frozen at our house. Oliver's just stepped into the Frozen zone.
Yeah, I start tearing up straight away.
So she saw Frozen for the first time about a week and a bit ago, and all of a sudden she's already got a Frozen bed cover. We were at the market today, and she was singing Frozen songs as we were sort of wheeling around the market and things. And yeah, it's slowly but surely taking over. So Pepper's still got some love there, but I'm a little bit worried we might have to switch to the Frozen podcast.
Oh, look, I'd be with you on it, mate. I love Frozen. It's the best movie.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
He's on board.
I think like a lot of people are excited about some movies this year. There's a Marvel Avengers movie coming out. There's a Star Wars movie coming out. But I'm excited for Frozen, mate.
Frozen 2. Frozen harder.
Too frozen, too freezing, mate.
Too frozen, too freezing. So the kids make themselves a little snowman. They get you got the coal and you got the carrot for the nose, and that was the other thing that we did after the snow in the park. We did make a great big snowman too, which was really good fun. But the snowman's got no clothes. So what do you do if the snowman's got no clothes, Matt?
You go inside and you find him some clothes, I think, mate.
You do. So George runs in. He gets a nice scarf and a nice hat, and Mummy Pig comes out to see what's going on, and they're all very handily colour coordinated as well for the gag. So
look, and you know what? Speaking of the colour coordination thing, when they go out, like Pepper's got yellow boots on, and George has got like red boots on, and they clearly should be swapped. And it irritated me through the whole episode.
It's not canon. They're messing with the formula.
Look, I'm showing you now, mate. What would look better?
Ah, there you go. It's true. That's true. But we can't argue. There's a rhyme to the reason. So the kids are greeted by Mummy Pig, and then a very cold Daddy Pig comes out, and he's decided, even though he can't find his warm clothes, he's decided to come out in the snow anyway. So we might have to call Dr. Brown Bear again, because Daddy Pig might get himself hypothermia or something if he's standing out in the cold in his little light top without a jacket and a scarf.
Well, my kids said, wouldn't it be like, actually, I'm going to spoil the ending here. I might shut up. Please go on.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that Daddy Pig basically, goes out and he says he's cold, but he doesn't know what's happened to his scarf and his hat and his gloves. And he looks over to the snowman, and of course, they've nicked Daddy Pig's gear. And Daddy Pig finds it so funny, he decides to roll around in the snow with that. He's warm gear on as well.
Well, my kids said, wouldn't it be funny if they had sticks for legs and they'd stolen his boots as well? Yeah. My girls just want to really boot people when they're down, obviously, but.
Oh, poor Daddy Pig would have very cold feet then, wouldn't he? Then I'd know that he was really being crazy if he was walking
cold
through
trotters.
the snow with no boots on. Yeah, cold trotters, exactly. And that's the gist of the episode. I don't know whether we kind of breezed on it and talked about other things really, because we just know it so well that we've hit all the things. Is there any inconsistencies book to film? Unfilmable scenes or.
I'm just hurriedly checking.
Just doing some live on-air research.
Look, Pepper does do a face plant into the snow, which is very funny.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah. And George laughs. Pepper is initially miffed, but laughs along. And look, it's a very good-natured snow fight. It is very funny of them rolling bigger and bigger snowballs. It reminds me very much of being a sibling.
Escalation.
The arms race it is being a brother or sister. But yeah, look, it's not a bad episode. No wonder they made a book out of it. The novelisation is very true. So
props to them there. They're not too much, they haven't felt the need to embellish the truth in the book. Yeah, not a bad little one all, but obviously our connection to the book certainly helps us in this context. I think if we didn't have the book, we might be sort of been reaching a little bit for things to go on, but yeah, not a bad little one at all.
Yeah, just a very good, solid Peppa Pig episode.
And sometimes that's all you want. So you can catch us at the socials at Peppa Pig Pod. You can leave us a review on iTunes, or you can share it around. You can join our Facebook group, or on Instagram, or on all the social things. You know, we try to check in when we can. We'd love to hear from you, where you're listening from. Yeah, it's great that a lot of people love it and send nice messages and download it. It's still amazing that people do, but we appreciate it very much. And we'll be back next time with Windy Castle.
Oh, very exciting.
Oh, very exciting bit of sizzle there for you. So thanks for dropping in, Matt.
No worries, Josh, and good night, my little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bingly, bongly, boo. Bong, bing, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bingly, bongly, boo.